Good morning, good morning. Happy Hump Day, everybody. I hope that everyone has had a productive week thus far, and may the rest of your week be more and more and more productive. May the blessings overflow in your life. May doors open that you haven't even knocked on for you and your family. May you be encouraged. May you be uplifted. May God give you all the desires of your heart this week, now and forever. So, how has everybody's week been thus far? Mine has been kind of crazy, a little emotional during the holidays. The closer it gets, when you have deceased parents and siblings and, children and, just close people to you, something more than not, more times than not, the holidays is usually, you know, a very, very, very sensitive time. Good morning, Miss R. How you doing, Queen? How you doing? I pray to God that you have a great, great, great hump day. How have you been thus far this week? Yeah, I was just saying it's just it's the holidays. I find myself getting more and more and more and more to Christmas. And it's crazy because you think that when you have children and stuff like that, that be your main focus during the holidays. But it's about that self-care, that self-love. You still have emotions, you still have feelings. So that thing still hurt. Even though you have your children and stuff, you still be hurting. You still be hurting over them holidays, missing your own mama. No matter how grown you get, you always need mama. I haven't found the time in my life yet. That's right, Miss R. I know it. I'm telling you. Happy early birthday to your mom. I'm telling you, missing so much. That presence. I'm telling you. That's why I tell people you got to respect your mom and dad. I don't care. I do not care. Like, that's a grief that you never, ever, ever heal from. You carry that thing with you forever. I don't care how long they've been gone. That grief never seems to get easy. You just learn to cope. But I'm telling you, I'm trying to pull myself out of that funk. Because every time we get close. And I'm just waiting for the year that it'll be better. But every year it just seems like it's the same thing. The same hurt and pain, the same thing. Just cannot get in the spirit. And I don't know. Usually it gets a little better on the actual Christmas day when I watch the kids open their gifts and stuff. But once that's all over, the pain seems like it come right back. That's right, Ms. R. Yep, 5 years, and it seems like yesterday. Oh, I'm praying for comfort for you. I'm praying that God comfort your heart, that God give you more strength this year than last year. That He brings some people in your space that can keep you uplifted during this hard time. That's why I said, yep, 5 years. Every day always seemed like it just happened yesterday. It's just like it don't matter how long it been, and that's the craziest thing. People mourn so bad around this time, and I guess because Thanksgiving, Christmas, those are the times that most families, the 4th of July, but really around this time that the families get together. And you always miss that part of your life, no matter how old you are, no matter how long it's been. That's a part of your life you never, ever heal from, because there's nobody in this world that can replace them, whether they were good or bad. There's nobody in this world that can replace them. So that pain is excruciating. It's just like, no matter who around, nobody can fill the void. Nobody can even touch that space because it's solely dedicated to your parents. So your heart hurts. But again, we learn to cope. We learn to cope. I was gonna come on last night because I want to talk about self-preservation, but I'm gonna do it tonight because we have to learn how to reserve a part of us for us. We gotta learn how to keep something for ourselves. We have to learn that self-preservation. Because a lot of times we walk around hurting and don't nobody even notice we hurting. Even when we crying tears, it's just like they look over it. Yep, her cooking, her laughter, everything coming together. Yes, ma'am. It's nothing like grandmas and mamas. That's what I said. Because both of them, for me, is gone. My grandma and my mama. So it's just like the rock that holds everything together. They gone. And then my aunt, she was the one that kind of took over after everybody else passed away, and she was violently taken from us the end of 2020. So it's just like, wow, it's just like it's it's like nowhere to turn. You don't have that house to go to no more on the holidays. Cause my aunt every time, every holiday, she cooking and everything ready. You better be here by 12. Now everybody around looking like, where we go now? Okay, Miss R, you have a blessed day as well. Yeah, it's like, where you go now once the rock is gone? Once the people who hold a family together, the jail that holds everything. Thank you, Miss R. Praying for you too. Praying for you too. I would definitely, definitely keep you in my prayers. Yep. Once those rocks gone, the ones that hold a family together, the family seem to crumble around you. So I always find myself being like, I gotta pick up the slack. I gotta figure out a way to bring my family back together. Cause even once grandma gone, everybody start doing their own thing. Everybody starts separating. And that's the beginning of the demise of the family. Once that rock leaves. Cause now you don't got, cause ain't nobody gonna tell grandma I'm not coming. Ain't nobody gonna tell grandma I don't feel like it. Everybody got their behind up and went to grandma's house. So, it was just like we were wired to go. So the family had no choice but to be together, but we enjoyed every moment with each other. But then, like I said, grandma's hand stopped moving. Grandma went on to glory. And now the family is in shambles. So I'm like, I might have to turn around and be the 41-year-old big mom of this family. Because I miss it. Lord knows I miss it. I miss the getting together every Sunday for Sunday dinner. The whole family. I miss getting together for the holidays, the whole family. Everybody coming together, catching up with each other. Children that maybe we haven't seen each other all year. The children came together and got to know each other. Because I say all the time, my kids walking around here and they wouldn't know half of their other side of the family because we don't get together no more. So they walk around in the same city a lot of times and can be walking right past each other and do not know. And that's sad. But that's just how much of a effect, you know, grandma leaving had on the family. Don't nobody know how to take that place. Don't nobody know how to step in and become the big mom. I was like, shoot, I might just have to be the 41-year-old big mom. Step in and have everybody get here, be here by 12. Cooking every Sunday, inviting the family over, cooking every holiday. Because I know my grandma turning in her grave. She never intended her family to be like this. Yeah, but anywho, so who all got big plans for the holidays? Big plans. Hopefully your please get together as a family. If you ever been together as a family in a long time, make it your business to go see your family. Because again, people are going up out of here. Go see your family. I don't care what y'all been through, why y'all in the place that y'all are in today. Throw it out the window. Fix it. Fix it, because tomorrow may be too late. Fix it. Go be with your family. Go be with your loved ones. Start new. Start fresh. Even if y'all got to sit down and talk about, lay y'all burdens down in front of each other, talk to your blood. Talk to your family. Fix your family. Get back together. Because that's sure what I'm going to try to do on my end. You got to get your family back together. Because the only time family come together now these days, a lot of families, which there are still a lot of close-knit families, which I envy that. Because God knows. But, there are still those ones that only come together for a funeral. So now y'all come together to say goodbye, but y'all couldn't even take that strength to move those same feet to go to your family member house and say, I'm sorry. Or pick up the phone and call your family member, let's meet, let's go out to lunch, let's fix what's broken. We have to start taking the same energy for things that we love in life that we take for nonsense, to indulge in nonsense. Take that same energy to fix what's broken. Take that same energy to apply it to what really matters in life. Because a lot of the stuff that we allow in our space, in our minds, and to consume our thoughts are really worthless. They mean nothing. They have no value in our life whatsoever. They only get in our minds and take up precious space that we could be using to indulge in something else. We just have to really, really, really work on family these days. I know people, this society has told you it's okay to cut this person off, cut that person off. Nah, you gotta want more than that. They tell you to cut this person off and cut that person off. Most of the people that tell you that ain't cut their family members off. They forgave their family members, but they love to see you lonely, love to see you by yourself. They love to see you running to them for comfort. Because now you can listen to them and cut everybody off. Even if they, even if your parents is bringing negative energy, you cut them off for your mental. Yeah, sure. You know how many times coming up you got on your mama got doggone nerves? You know how many times coming up you done got on your daddy got doggone nerves? You know how many times coming up you've done something that probably put their life in jeopardy or their money in jeopardy? They had to pay for something they really didn't have the money to pay for, so they had to stress to make sure that you was happy. You know how many times you've probably been disrespectful out of your mouth, even if you went in the room and closed the door and went in the closet and called your mom all kind of B words, or your daddy all kind of B words. Oh, I hate this house, I'm gonna run away. Do you remember how many times you did all that? But they had to endure and they had to take it, and you have the nerve to say it's okay to cut your parents off. Think about how many times you've been a negative vibe in their life, but they loved you through it all. So before you think it's okay to cut your mom and dad off, think about all you've done to them that's been seen and unseen, because you did a lot of stuff that your parents don't even know that you did. So before you listen to society and lose out on your mama and daddy until the day you standing over their grave and crying, grow up and fix it. It ain't no such thing as okay to not live with your mama and your daddy in your life. The ones that gave birth to you and raised you. Nobody is perfect. You ain't even perfect. You wasn't a perfect child. You ain't no perfect adult either. Get some act right about yourself and get over there and make it right with your mom and daddy. Because let me tell you something. When you standing over that grave with those flowers and they going in that ground, that's it. It's final. Your apologies mean nothing. You can't get back that time. You can't fix what has been broken at that time. It's over. And not just for family, but, not just for parents, but family members in general that are not dangerous to you. I'm not saying be around somebody else, try to fix something with somebody that's dangerous to be around. But anything else, you know how to love people for who they are. I got some aunts and uncles that's so doggone messy, but I don't care. I love them for who they are. I feed them with a long handled spoon. I know what to say around them, what not to say around them. I know what to pour into them and what not to pour into them. I know what part of my business to keep to myself when I'm around them, and I know the people that I can tell my business to. You love people for who they are, not for who you want them to be. Learn how to love people for who they are and where they are in their life, and not for who you want them to be. Because do you understand in your life that you may not be as perfect to somebody as you see yourself? It may be some things that you're doing to people that they're not even acknowledging, but they still love you. They still be in your presence. Sorry about that little pause. My dog love to start going off every time I get on here. He's so right. But yeah, don't you think that you may not be for everybody? Every move you make, everything you may say out your mouth, somebody may see it flawed, but they never tell you because they love you so much they don't want to lose you out their life. Stop being so quick to cut people off, because you're going to cut off the wrong people and you're going to find yourself by yourself. And some people okay with being in the space by themselves, but everybody needs somebody sometime. Don't let the world fool you. Don't let this world fool you. Because this world will have you balled up in a knot somewhere, depressed. You got common sense. You was raised a particular type of way. Use your common sense. Stop letting this world alter your ego. Stop letting this world alter your mind. Stop letting this world make you dumb yourself down. Because you know better. You know how important family is. You know how important living is. You know how important health is. You know right from wrong. But everybody want to be a pick me these days. Pick me, pick me. I'm going to do anything to make everybody around me comfortable because I want everybody to want to be in my presence. Everybody don't need to be in your space. Everybody don't supposed to like you. Because everybody ain't built like you. If it's nothing about you that will make somebody dislike you, even if it's, just the fact that you stand on what you stand 10 toes. If I said it, I said it. If I did it, I did it. I ain't ashamed of nothing I do. A lot of people just mad at you because you're real. A lot of people don't like you because they so used to fake these days and times that they don't know how to accept real. So they take real as, oh, she got too much mouth. Or real as, oh, she messed. No, real is real. Real, raw, and uncut. If you can't take that, baby, you can't take me. And I'm okay with that. This ain't the time to be babying nobody up. This ain't no time to be putting no ground behind people over my lap. I said what I said. You make me uncomfortable, I'm going to let you know you made me uncomfortable. You do something I don't like, I'm going to address it in the moment. Okay? I'm not going to let it linger on for days. No, I'm going to let you know. So either at that moment we're going to fix it or we're going to just choose to agree to disagree and not talk no more. But this is the day, just like I said in another video, this is the season to reap what you have sown. But in this season, you're going to also have to have a clear vision. You're not going to be able, because you know what? What the outside world can't see, God can see and he can read. That's one person you can't fool. You can try to put on all the 1,000 faces in the world you want to put on, but God reads your heart. So anything that you do with malicious intent will come back to you 10 times fold. It don't matter who you is. It don't matter who your mama is, who your daddy is, who you try to be, who you told the people you are, what shoes you wear, how much money you got. This reaping season, you will reap what you have sown. So let's just hope that the seeds that you planted were all good seeds. And if this season you don't reap good, learn from it. Open your eyes and think about what you did. Learn the lesson. So when the season come around again, you'll reap nothing but good, great harvest. Like we all have to just wake up. We all have to stop being, because you're of the world, you don't have to be in the world. Stop that. Because this world is in no way right. This world is just so up and down all around. You'll be very confused if this is the world you're trying to fit in. Learn to be yourself. Learn to stand out. That's the best way to be. Because this world's so messed up and money driven and all kind of mess. You can't trust even the things you see with your own eyes these days. People to learn how to put up great deceptive ways and great deceptive practices that will make you fall into the wrong space and block your own blessings because you're trying to be in the world. This ain't the world to be in, baby. Create your own world. This ain't the world you want to be in, baby. Create a positive space for people because it's very minimal. A positive space is very minimal these days. So if you want to do anything, again, stand out. Create a positive space for people. Live in your truth. Be who you are. Don't alter yourself for nobody. Don't dumb yourself down again and fit in no rooms. Because any room that you're supposed to be in, when you walk in, they're going to already know this is where you belong. You're not going to have to change yourself to fit in. Nowhere. Nowhere that God has built for you anyway. This day, change your way of thinking. And not saying change your way of thinking to the way I think or the way nobody else would think. Change your way of thinking to what your mind is telling you your way of thinking should be, not what somebody told you to think. Change your way of thinking to what you know as who you are that you're supposed to be doing. What you know as of who you are, what you're supposed to be putting out. what you know you're supposed to be indulging in, what you know that you're supposed to be adding to this world. Prepare yourself to reap your harvest. Prepare yourself. Because if you planted those good seeds, baby, you got to be prepared for what God got for you. You got to have the mental to not fumble the bag. You're going to have the mental to be able to do exactly what God intends you to do so he can keep on blessing you and be humble through it all. And appreciate it because you've gone through hell to get here. You understand? So you deserve it all. Don't fumble it. Don't fumble your blessings now that they're going to start to pour. Don't get so caught up in trying to show off to the world what God is going to do for you. Because as easy as he give it, he could take it away. Stay humble through it all. You deserve it. You went through hell to get here. You understand? Look yourself in the mirror and say, I made it. This is your reaping season. And I pray to God, everything that you reap is every desire of your heart. And now you then at that point, once it start coming and outpouring, you'll understand why you had to go through to get into your season. Because all of that you went through gonna seem minor to what's gonna come to pass for you. But again, it's gonna still be based on how you handle it. Don't fumble your blessings. Do not fumble your blessings. And forgive others as God forgives you. You can't go around here holding grudges and hate in your heart for people, but then expect God every time you fall short of his glory, you expect God to forgive you. God gonna hold you accountable for your actions. Forgive people. Again, forgiveness is not for them, it's for you. Forgive people, move on. Don't let hate that you carry in your heart. Don't try to carry hate into your next season. Because you're gonna alter your next season if you got any hate in your heart. Because God is not the author of confusion. So you can't walk into something good when you're carrying something bad. Release that load. Release that load of hate. Because God don't represent hate, nor does he accept it. Release it. Even when it's the hardest hate, you got to release it. Because your blessings are waiting on you. I don't care what you have to do, scream, holler, cry, beat up. But release that hate off your heart. Because it's not welcome where you're going. And you're not intended to stay where you are. So don't cut yourself out of where you're going because you can't let go of hate. Because imagine if everything that you did bad in life, if God held you accountable in the moment and didn't allow you to come to him and ask for forgiveness, he just carried that hate around because you disobeyed him in his heart the whole time. Imagine where you would be. Imagine the things in life that you would lack. Release it. Walk into your season with your clear vision, your clear, light heart. Don't take no heavy loads into your new season. You done all that all your life. You did all that. It's time for a change in a positive way. It's time for you to live good. It's time for you to not have to live check to check. It's time for you not to have to worry about how you and your family going to eat. It's time for you not to worry about how you going to clothe your children. It's time for you not to worry about if your light bill going to get paid and your light's not going to get cut off today. It's time for you to lay back and reap what you have sown. Put out good things into the world, and that's what you can expect back. But you don't bless people with expectance of getting something back. But God tells us that that's how that works. But you don't do things because when you do something with an expectation of something coming back, it ain't gonna come back because you did it the wrong way. It wasn't from the heart, it was for clout. You gave something not from the heart. You want a recognition for it. That's not the same thing. But that's why I said when these people bless people and they gotta, how like the rappers with all the money, they gotta go around and show every homeless person because they're giving them some change, that's not from your heart. Because everything that you do for somebody don't have to be on Front Street. Can you imagine how hard it already is for them all laying out there in the cold for you to go slap a camera in each one of their face? It's already hard enough them being out there. If you got overflow of money and you helping them, just be content in your heart enough, be content in your heart. Because when it's from the heart, it's going to warm your heart. You don't have to put everything on Front Street. Now, I'm not saying like the ones, you will have some of those that don't mind. But, they don't even ask them these days. They just slap the cameras in their face. Nah, you looking for clout. So understand that blessing ain't going to come back 10 times 4 because you did that for all the wrong reasons. You did that for clicks and views. And you already rich. So, that was so unnecessary. I'd be looking at stuff like that and I'd be like feeling so sorry for those people. Like, I hope that those people gave consent. Like, that's kind of sad. They already going through the worst time in their life. The last thing that they need is for a bunch of people to be looking in their face. Unless they consent, because you have some of those that consent. But yeah, y'all, this y'all reaping season. Dennis Hump Day, y'all got 2 days before the weekend, baby. Christmas next week, ain't it? If y'all ain't want to got them children and your family some gifts, go on to the store. I was just telling somebody yesterday. I made a post on Facebook. I said, listen, all my family gifts still at the store. And y'all, they still at the store. I put up a tree, but I just have not been in the Christmas spirit. But God woke me up today and was like, nah, we're going to stop this. Get out of this rut. Let's get to shopping. Now, I do have some things coming that I have brought online because I really hate to go inside the store, but I haven't really just been in the mood to shop. I just have not been in the mood, But I woke up today in a different mood, thank God. In a different type of spirit. I'm still mourning a little, but at least I now have energy and, I'm looking forward to seeing my babies on Christmas, seeing their face. And I'm actually looking forward now to wrapping some gifts. So I guess I better go ahead and shop before I get back in my rut. And that's crazy that no matter how many people you talk to about the death of a loved one, no matter how many years go by, no matter how much, therapy you do, like you always find yourself back here. Even when it was like a mom or a dad, like you always find yourself mourning around this time. It's like nothing and nobody can hear that. Like, that's why I tell people, man, do the best that you can and know the, love on your people. Because this constant pain is a constant thing. Every holiday. I find myself, I can't even spend time with people with their mamas on holidays. That's why, like, my children will go off after we open gifts and stuff, they'll go off to their grandma and them house. I stay home. I stay back. I spend the time with my babies and then they dad and them going to his mama house. Because you know what? You just feel like you don't fit in. No matter how many times people tell you they love you and they want you to come, you just do not fit in. You just feel that loss. And just to be honest, I just still at this point, I'm not ready for it. I'm just not. Because I'd be like, I want to be sitting around the table with my mama too. I want my mama to be able to see her grandkids. But again, I wasn't afforded that luxury. So stop letting people tell y'all can cut y'all mamas and daddies off. I don't care if they're the worst mamas and daddies. Man, even if you got to love them for a distance, you still love them. You call them, you check up on them. You make sure they're eating. I don't care if they crack addicted or whatever. If you know they're on the streets, you go find them. You make sure they warm. Mama, I love you regardless. Dad, I love you regardless. And never stop trying to get them help. Because that monster of addiction is just that. Addiction. They not in their right mind. You can't hold them accountable for what they're doing when they addicts. That's like you trying to hold somebody accountable for being sick with a disease. Because that's exactly what addiction is. It's a disease. And never be ashamed of what you come from. Unfortunately, this world will chew you up and spit you out. You think they grew up and said, I want to be a crackhead? No. Life happened. Something happened. Something came along and they got a hold to it and it messed them up. That's how I used to always be about my auntie. I used to be up even when I was a teenager. I got my first car. I would be up in the middle of the night looking for her. My love for her never changed. I would be out looking for her because, she was on drugs real bad. And, women on drugs that's in the streets, you know how they go. I would be picking her up. Hey, good morning, Miss chatting with Miss V. How you doing? Yep. Yeah, it's hard around this time of season. I'm telling you. I pray that God give you strength to make it through like me. I'm praying that for myself too, and Miss R, and anybody else who going through it. I just lost two loved ones. I understand. Oh yeah, it's hard, man. That this thing of grief, this grief will weigh you down. People don't understand. Mourning, even this type of consistent mourning, it's just like it will weigh you down. But there's nothing to fix it. From what I've seen, you just learn to cope. But I'm definitely praying for your strength. Praying for God to comfort your heart. Praying for God to put people around you this season in your space that'll do the best that they can to keep your mind off and keep you loving, laughing. Keep your mind busy. Keep it off the grief. That's what I pray for you today. But yeah, I used to be in the middle of the night looking for her. I'd be like, you want me to tell people why you shouldn't get in that car? She'd be like, girl, you get on my nerves. I don't care. Get in this car. That's why I'm speaking from experience. I ain't anything I tell y'all I've touched. At some point in my life, I've experienced it. Because like I said, I was a teenager chasing down my grown auntie because I loved her enough. I never was going to give up on her. No matter what, nobody was going to tell me she wasn't good enough because she had a disease, which is an addiction. Nobody wasn't going to tell me she didn't deserve me or I should be ashamed of her. I still stood right beside her, stood in the paint with her. I don't care. It's my aunt. You ain't going to disrespect her. She's still human. She's still mine. We have to learn to accept it. It's a part of life, but it takes time. Yeah. I don't ever think acceptance, that's a different term. I don't think you ever really accept it because you never understand why you were chosen to bear that burden. You learn to cope with it. Because, a part of growth is acceptance, but I mean, I've accepted the fact that they're gone. I know they never coming back, if that's the part of acceptance that you're referring to. But, it's just, you still always have in the back of your mind. Even when you see these old disrespectful, these grown and young kids that curse around their mamas and daddies, like be so disrespectful, treat their parents like they burdens, don't want to be around them, or their mamas calling them, Mom, what you want? This and that, girl. It makes my skin crawl. Right now, why they deserve to keep theirs? Then I found myself, about a couple years ago, like, stop asking why. Stop asking why. Like, why? Like, they get to keep theirs. And she's, they treat her like she ain't worth nothing to them. But they got to keep theirs. Yes, God. Prayer works. Prayer changes things, okay? Because where two or more are in the midst, where two or more are there, God is in the midst, okay? God is listening. God is listening. God wants that for us. He don't want us to be mourning. He wants us to understand his way and his will. He wants us to understand that everybody he give us is for a temporary amount of time. That one day he going to need his babies back. And that goes for all of us and all the ones that we've lost. This is just we just transitioning. We just passing on through here. This ain't none of our final resting place. This ain't our last stop. But baby, that not having them in the physical is just it's definitely a reality. It's a real feeling. It's a human emotion, Even though they've gone on to something better and they actually better off than we is right now, But you still miss them. Again, we're human. It's a human emotion. Still miss them like crazy. Even like I said, around these times, the times of families we used to get, used to get together. When you look around and you see those, how many people missing, Even when it's the constructors of everything, like the grandmas that gave life to all of this, Like, well, no, they moved, they gone. it just feel empty. It's like you living in an illusion, or like you living in some type of warp zone. Like, how could my grandma be gone? Like, she created all this. So, you start to think like, what does this mean? What is family? How do family go on after the elders leave? How do families continue to function once the elders are gone? And they never really had time to, they've instilled a lot of in us, but they never actually passed that torch. So now you just like lingering, like, who gonna pick up the torch? So somebody got to step in and decide to pick up the torch to get the family back on track. And that's why I said I think I'm gonna have to be the 41-year-old big mom, because I miss it. Lord knows I miss it. All the laughter, you know, all the games, all the. Of course, we all talk here and there, but we just don't get together like that. Maybe once in a blue moon we'll have something, but it ain't like when Nana was living. When Big Mom was living, every Sunday you all were together. Every holiday you all were together. You know, and a lot of times during the week you was together because everybody was going to where Big Mom was to see her. So you still interacted with your family way more than you do once the elders are gone. Once the elders are gone, now everybody only focused on their own family. And that's not and when you know better, you do better, is what they say. But you know better and you still don't do it in that particular situation. Like, grandma has set the foundation to her family. She set out the blueprint for her family. Y'all always do this. Y'all never break this tradition. And as soon as grandma ain't even good cold in the ground, there go the traditions. It's like grandma never even set the foundation. She never even, like she did all that in vain. When she even got to the point she was so old she had to sit at that stove in her wheelchair, she would still make sure those dinners was cooked. And people held no value to it once her eyes was closed. So it's just like, it'd be sad. It's a sad reality. So like I said, I think I'm gonna be the 41-year-old big mom, because I'm gonna bring it all back together for my nana. You know, but not just for her, just for myself, my children, because I want them to have, even though we're very close knit, I want them to understand too, having a close knit whole family is important. Not just the ones that your mom and dad, not just the family your mother and dad created, just your whole family. Everybody in your family is important. Everybody in your family, you should want to, love. And you should definitely know, because like I said, mine don't know. I have a whole nother side of my family my kids don't even know. Because once people start putting away, I don't do drama, I don't do mess. Once it started being so much of a big thing and it had to take so much energy to be around just to love somebody, no, y'all can have that. So now we have like my grandma and her kids, all of us is tight, but then you have my grandma's sisters, kids, mamas and their kids. Now we all like split down in the middle. They have their side, we have our side. That's how it's unfortunately seems like it is. We have, of course, a couple people from their side that's still over here, and a couple people on our side that's still over there. But it's just like not like it used to be when the elders were living. You know, their mom, they're over there. They're the grandma on that side and the grandma on this side, because they were sisters, so they was tight. So they kept all of us together. But once they went in the ground, nobody wanted to love each other enough just to keep that tradition going. And it was just a tradition based off love, nothing else, not one negative thing. The whole tradition is based off love. Those Sunday dinners, that's to catch up how your week been. That's for you to relax, for all the children to run around and play, for the parents to get some relaxation, for everybody to hug on each other, see everybody, say to all, I love yous. That's all that was about. The best things in life. And it still couldn't stand without the elders. But yeah, I came on here today. I'll be back later on today, but I did come on here today just to tell everybody, you know, happy hump day. May God bless you all during the season. Those who are mourning, may God comfort your heart. May God ease your pain. May God put you in the spirit. May God guide your footsteps. May God take you up out that bed, get you out that house, get you shopping. May God provide all the finances you need to buy whatever it is that you want to buy for your family. May God bring you all together in prayer. May God provide the feast that you all need on the holidays. May God just provide it all. May God turn it around. May this Christmas be better than last Christmas. And may God give you strength. I'm praying for you all that your today is better than yesterday and that your tomorrow will come and it'll be better than today. One day closer to your season. God bless you all. I'm out.